So we have lots of interesting things to discuss, and most of all, we have a great record.
Thank you.
It was. I think that from the middle section of the album, and then it was even better than, you know, it's starting and it's pounding, and the second part of the album is the more intricate one, is the more intriguing one, I could say. So let's begin.
That's what they call deep cuts. They call those deep cuts. That means when you get into the record more, you know, a lot of people like that stuff, you know, like on Demanufacture. Okay, Zero Signal, big song, Demanufacture, big song. But a lot of people say, oh, HK and Piss Christ. Oh my God. You know, those are the deep cuts.
My favorite song from Fear Factory is HK.
HK, there you go. That's a deep cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you have to be a fan, and you have to listen to the record thoroughly in order to be able to distinguish between all the tracks.
I think most of our fans listen to the whole records. Yes, for sure. Most of our fans really get into the sound, the concept, the tones, the style. A lot of them really get into it, you know. And I love that. I love that.
Apart from some obvious choices like Lynchpin, for example.
Biggest song.
Yeah, and Self-Bias Resistor, and I think that what makes Fear Factory more different is that they have a huge collection of good songs, which allows the fans to dig into these deep cuts.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was really, you know, my mother was really into the Beatles and Elvis Presley, so I always heard melodies and hooks. You know, when I was 9 years old, I got into AC/DC and Black Sabbath. And then, of course, it gets heavier and heavier and heavier, right? And I just learned how to combine a lot of the heavy elements of the thrash and the grindcore and death metal and industrial stuff. I just learned how to combine that and make catchy songs, you know, hooky songs, whether it be the vocals or whether it be a guitar riff or even a drum beat. You know, I just learned early on to write good, catchy metal songs.
Do you feel relieved after all the things that happened the past few months, now that aggression?
Few months? You mean like few years?
Yeah. I'm kind
Am
enough.
I relieved? Yes, I'm very much relieved that we finally get to get this record out for people to hear it. And to, I think people are really going to get into it. I mean, we released our first, you know, single, Disruptor. We released a really cool, you know, movie type video with the song, and I think that you know, fans have been waiting for something like that for a long time. It's been 5+ years to get this out. A lot of struggle, a lot of sacrifices, but we're talking about real sacrifices and real struggle to get this record out.
We'll speak about it later. Now that you mentioned Disruptor and its great video, it's a great kind of short movie video. Did you make it like this because it was difficult for various reasons to have a video showing the band?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yeah, obviously there's no singer, so how are you going to make a video with no singer, right? So yeah, but we've always wanted to make these kind of movie type things. We've always wanted to, but you know, whether it be there would always be some sort of reason why it never happened, right? So I decided, okay, now's the time. Let's do it, you know, and so let's go far with it, and that's what we did. So there's going to be a part 2
for another song.
For another song, yep, part 2.
It will continue from the moment that the cover of the album is being shown as a spaceship.
I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah. Okay. So either way, I think that this second part is going to be shown after the video will be released. So this video that we're talking about. But anyway, the album ends with the song called "End of the Line." does it have something to do with all these things that happen, or it's just a matter of coincidence?
Yeah, it ends. I'm sorry. The last song is end of line, but there's a tail part after the song. You hear the atmospherics, right? But there's also a speech, and the speech is that it's the fear is the mind killer speech. That just means that the fear is only in your mind, and so you don't fear the fear. And basically, what that's saying is, don't fear the future. Don't fear the change of what's coming. Right? I definitely added that because end of the line is basically it's exactly what it says, exactly what it means. It's the end of the line. Now it could be a subliminal message that maybe it's the end of the line for him, or it could be the end of the line of this concept. So it's actually, I think it's both. So the whole record, Aggression Continuum, is basically saying that the relationship between man and AI, is a very strange relationship. Sure, it represents that, the struggle between the two, the battle between, people like to say man versus machine, so people like, so it's kind of like the battle between the two. But I really look at it as a relationship between the two because some of it's good, right? In the song Recode, how it starts, Recode, imagine your life taken from you, imagine your life. So that's like the AI is extracting your memories and your consciousness and your soul and transporting it uploading it into an AI. So when you hear imagine your life taken from you, that's everything's removed from your memory. But it's also imagine your life taken from you, everything that we've lost to get here, everything that we sacrificed to get here. Now, that's a whole other story that we can get into later, like you said. But yeah, so the record has a concept, and the disruptor is more of the resistance trying to disrupt the system that's causing this AI to create, drones, HKs, and things like that. Very Terminator, right? So
it's like watching a Terminator trailer.
yeah, pretty much. And so if you look at Salvation, Terminator Salvation, that was actually the image that we were trying to go for on that video. Yeah. So they're trying to disrupt the signal from where the main mothership is sending the signal to the drones to come and take them out, right? So yeah, it's a concept record, and you have a song like Purity where the android or the automaton is becoming more conscious and more aware, but it has taken the memories of a human and you put it into that thing, so it thinks it's human. So he's actually crying out, I am one of you, take me as I am. So it's kind of like saying, hey, I'm human too, but really he's not. He just thinks it is. So yeah, there's a concept theme to the whole record. Yeah.
How difficult is it to release and promote an album that features a singer and founding member, a longtime member that has left the band, stating some very serious things about, it's about toxic dramas, about not trusting you, about not respecting you. How difficult is it to do such a thing, and having to speak about lots of other things apart from the album?
Yeah, I really don't want it to overshadow the record because the record is fucking amazing, and I'm very happy that it's finally coming out. But yeah, you can't ignore the other things that happen along the way. Now, I don't know why he said those things. You have to ask him. I don't know exactly why. I can guess, I can assume, but I could be wrong. You know what I mean? So, but I know this, that he stopped talking to us about 2017. When I say us, I mean me, the management company, the other Tony or Mike Keller. He hasn't talked to anybody else. He just disappeared. But it's not the first time he's done that. So he quit the band in 2002. He quit the band again in he disappeared in 2007. I came back 2009. 2011 he disappeared again. So it's kind of like we always felt that we were held hostage by whether he wants to be in the band or not. I think it's very unfair to myself and to the fans that he would do this all the time. A lot of fans didn't even know he did this because there were long gaps in between records. And sometimes the long gaps was because he disappeared. I'll give you an example. In 2011, we were going to do the record, The Industrialist. Burton disappeared, didn't hear from him. We've emailed him, called him, texted him, didn't hear from him for 8 months. Music was already written. I was thinking, okay, he quit the band. Maybe he'll tell us. Maybe he won't tell us. I don't know. 8 months later, his other band broke up, City of Fire. He came back to Fear Factory, apologized, and then we made the record. So I've always I always felt that he was looking for a way out, right? I always felt that he was hoping that one of his other bands would get big so he wouldn't have to come back and do Fear Factory. So he did say the reason why he came back to do Fear Factory in 2009 was for the money. It was also to promote his other band, Essential of the Watchers. So to me, it's like after reading that, I already knew that, and that he actually kind of said those quotes in a Metal Hammer interview that he did recently. But I always knew that behind the scenes. So in 2017, when he didn't talk to us for 3 years, we're like, okay, then he probably left the band. So I was thinking that was going to be it for Fear Factory because the name was held up in litigation in court, right? Because of the lawsuits.
Yeah.
And so things took a positive turn for me. I was able to regain the rights after a battle. I was able to regain the rights and continue Fear Factory. And then he finally announced his departure. He seemed to blame everybody else, whatever. I don't care. We just have, we have no choice but to move forward.
So when were his vocals recorded? Before
2017. 2017.
Fear Factory has...
And so the reason why his vocals stayed on the record is because when you sign a record contract, we're under Nuclear Blast contract. When you sign a record contract, the record company has every right to say what stays or goes on the record, right? So they own the master recordings. So in order for me to do anything, I would have to get their permission to change anything on the record. So they gave you permission to do everything else except they wanted Bert's vocals to remain on the record. So they're on the record still. I could have easily gotten somebody else to come and sing on the record, but the label wanted the record for his vocals to remain on the record, and they remained on the record, and that was it. The record's coming out. So it's kind of like his last record. We have no choice. He's out of the band, so got to move forward.
Yeah, and another thing that that raised a lot of questioning is about this crowdfunding campaign for the new album.
Yeah,
I mean, you had Nuclear Blast with you. You had your old friend Monte Conner, who signed you and still in Nuclear Blast. So he has faith in you, and you still want to do a crowdfunding campaign for which parts of the recording were missing. I know, but I think it's better you to tell to the rest of the world what parts of the recording were missing in order, and you wanted cash in order to make them happen.
Yeah, well, if people read the crowdfunding campaign, they would see what they were for. Now, when you start a GoFundMe campaign, you can't just start one just to start one and have no reason to, right? GoFundMe doesn't let you do that, right? They want to make sure that what you're doing is legitimate, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, Burton shit all over the campaign. You try to say it was a scam, but that's impossible because GoFundMe, GoFundMe does millions of these things. And like I said, it has to be legitimate while you're doing it. So if GoFundMe doesn't believe that you're doing it for legitimate reasons, they can shut it down. Now, somebody sent in a complaint or filed a complaint to GoFundMe to say that my campaign was a scam, but GoFundMe found no claims. I mean, they found no scam. They found no fraud in it. So I don't know who sent the email. I don't know who sent the complaint, but you can take a good guess, right? For some reason, he was trying to sabotage it, and I don't know why, because everything that I'm doing to the record that benefits the record
Benefits him
only
as well.
benefits. Yeah, he's on the vocals. He's going to get paid from it. So I don't understand. It was just sounded like more of a personal attack than anything else. So again, the crowdfunding was successful. We were able to get through it. Sure, he painted a bad picture, of course, and but at the end of the day, look what it accomplished. It accomplished a great record.
Mm-hmm. And I have read that a few days ago that you have been checking a few options for the singer position in the Fear Factory, and some of them are women.
Mhm.
Where are you right now in the search of a new Fear Factory voice, and how do you feel about bands like Arch Enemy and Ginger, who play extreme metal and have female voices?
Oh, it's great. I think it's great. I don't even think that male or female should even be a subject. It's just the singer. They're singers.
Yeah.
I've always said that gender does not play a role in who I choose. And the only reason why I even said that was because I featured one of the singers on our Instagram, and I saw the reaction, and I was shocked on the reaction of how many men didn't want a female singer, or they were just against female singers, right? And I was really surprised at that. I was like, okay, I understand. Maybe you don't want a girl to replace Bert, but it was more than that, And I was just shocked how low guys went and talking shit. It wasn't cool. It wasn't nice, and it kind of makes me want to get a female singer now because of all that.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
I was just
I don't
about to
know.
say that. I was just about to say that.
But I don't know. I don't know yet because I haven't made a decision. I have to see if I get along with the person. Because of COVID restrictions, I haven't been able to get a lot of people to come down to spend time with us. So until those restrictions are a little less, I'll be able to get somebody down here or get them down here and spend time with them. Because it's going to be whoever feels those shoes. It's going to be a long tour coming up.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, as long as he or she fits Fear Factory to your taste.
Yeah, I mean, I do take into consideration of the 30-year legacy that we have. And sure, whoever I pick, it's not the first time I had to pick a singer. I've discovered other singers before, but again, want to make sure we get along with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and one of your previous singers, even not in Fear Factory, in Divine Heresy, was Tommy Vext. He was fired for inappropriate and unprofessional behavior and went to Bad Wolves, where he had considerable success. But he was fired from Bad Wolves for inappropriate comments. Do you feel justified by kicking him out from Divine Heresy.
I don't think about it. I don't think about
it. But anyway, I think that the people, the guys in Bad Wolves, had the same situation that like you had in Divine Heresy, but their position now was even worse because they have some hit singles, and they were not like playing death or grindcore metal and stuff like that.
I can tell you this now. They got a new singer and they're moving forward, and I'm 100% positive that the stuff is really, really good. So
great. And the band Fear Factory has faced a serious lineup changes as we have discussed in their 30 years of existence. It seems like being in Fear Factory is like going through a revolving door. I guess that for some people, this revolving door has been shut down. You know, it's like revolving and then hitting a wall. It's okay, like in cartoons. But do you feel that it would be different if you had a solid lineup and less drama in the band? And what do you think led to such decisions in the past? Financial reasons was mostly, or conflict of strong characters?
I think that we're all to blame of everything that's happened at Fear Factory. You can't put the blame on one person. Bert likes to put the blame on everybody else, you know, the judicial system, me, Raymond, Christian, you know, he blames everybody. And it's just, he's being a very overdramatic singer. You know, in reality, we're all to blame. You know, we're all to blame of the outcome of what's happened. And yeah, it could be a clash of egos. I don't really know exactly, but you know, it's we're all to blame for what happened.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that things would be different, commercially speaking, about Fear Factory if you had a solid lineup? Let's pick 4 guys, and you go along with all these 4 guys for.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if we did have a solid lineup, it probably could be a lot bigger. You know, but you know, over the years, you know, it was our live performance when it came to the vocals. You know, it really hindered us. You know, a lot of booking agents didn't want to book us. Festivals didn't want to book us. Our guarantees have gone down. So, you know, because
Burton couldn't sing some of the songs. For example, the Linchpin, for example, I think that you have mentioned that you didn't play some songs because Burton could not sing them.
Yeah, well, that, you know, all that goes into factor of why is part of the reason why we're not bigger as we should be.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that Aggression Continuum is like a soundtrack of the modern era, the times that we all live in with the COVID-19?
No, it's not necessarily about viruses. There's nothing like that.
I mean, about the soundtrack, not the lyrics.
You know, the struggles the sound of the COVID-19. No.
Okay.
The record was actually written before that.
Before that, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And would you do another remix album like you did with Fear is a Mind Killer or the Remanufacture? Now that you have Rice
Yes.
with you.
Yes.
For which album?
Yes.
Would you do that?
For this one. For this one.
Mm-hmm.
For the new one. Yeah, for the new one.
Is there any chance for that?
Yes. Very big chance.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it's still too soon to talk about. We haven't even put this record out. You're asking me future questions.
I have forgotten that the record will be out in June, and it's April.
Yeah. You said, hey, is there a possible this could happen? Yeah, it's possible.
Okay. So before the end, because our time is running out, what should we expect in the future from Fear Factory, even though making plans is kind of funny at this time, that we don't know what the future holds for us in general?
Well, for sure, 100%, 2022 will be on the road, and we'll be supporting this new record, probably supporting some other new songs as well too, because when I decide on who's going to be singing for the band, we're definitely going to be releasing a single or two before we go on the road next year.
So thank you very much for this conversation, Dino. It was very nice talking to you.
Thank you.
It's a great pleasure, and even greater that you have a very good album to support. Wish you the best of luck. The best of luck with the new singer whenever you find him or her. So that
Him or her, you mean?
It's a matter. Who could imagine that in 2021 we would be singing, we would be talking about if people can want a singer from his gender. I really don't know. Judging from his gender.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. You gave me the exposure. I can't wait for the world to hear it. And go to fearfactory.com for all the pre-orders and merchandise and everything that you can order there. Thank you.
Have a great evening. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.